As a farmer, we all look for a product a crop that does not need much of the capital and will give some good returns within a shortest period of time. One of these crops is Rosecoco beans. The demand for beans consumption has been on the rise as consumption increases. Most people are preferring cereals, and this has made it demand to continue increasing. Remember, it's also widely consumed by institutions, high schools, and even some of the primary schools. So it's rare when you farm these Rosecoco beans for you not to get good market. A bag of 90 kg of Rosecoco beans ranges between 7,000 in high supply season to 15,000 or even 18,000 in shortage seasons. So this is a product that you can manage to farm and get some good results as long as you do it correct. Remember, having low cost does not guarantee profit. You have to do it right, and also you have to maximize maintaining your cost as low as possible so that you have good profit margin and also you manage to get high yield. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. I'm Kelvin from FarmWorks. We do empower farmers by providing solutions to their daily farming challenges. Consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to share these videos with your friends. This is the only way that you can help us continue empowering more and more farmers. Now we jump right into it. Now, Rosecoco beans are fast drought tolerant, and then also they tend to grow fast within 90 days. In an acre, you need an average of 16 to 20 kg, that's a seed rate. Also for beans, and this is a general rule for all beans, you don't have to do it in fertile soils. Actually, we have observed beans done in deep fertile soils. Those extremely fertile soils, they tend not to do well. And by doing well, I mean you find that bean, it looks very good, it's very healthy, has a lot of foliage, like it has a lot of leaves, but the number of pods that it produces are minimal, and even the bean size is very, very minimal. Okay, and that's why we even recommend when you're doing beans, if your soil is very, very fertile, don't add manure. Also, we also don't add a lot of DAP. You just use very, very small amount, and if you can manage not to do with it, it's still fine. It's a way of reducing cost. However, if you are farming in an area that is completely infertile, you need to add manure at least to sustain this crop. Beans tend to do well in sandy loam soils, and they tend to grow well in well-drained soils. Okay, so if your soils tend to flood, or if the soils are clay and they don't support much, these may tend to frustrate you. So if you have a well-drained sandy loam soils, that's okay for you. You can do Rosecoco beans. How to plant it? It's very simple and it's very, very easy. You just need to you can do holes, or you can do fallows or the metal system. And then a spacing of, let's say, from one line to the other, you can do 30 to 40 centimeters. Then from one bean to the other, you can do roughly 20 to 25 centimeters. Personally, I prefer planting with both holes so that I can manage to, if the soil is infertile, to add a little manure, and then also I can manage to do some good spacing. And also it's not that much involved. It's easier to dig holes than the fallows. I put 2 seeds per hole so that in case one does not germinate, the other one will germinate. Nowadays, it's easier. There are certified seeds like the Rosecoco GLP2 from Kenya Seed and also from East Africa Seed. And if you cannot manage to buy these certified seeds, also you can buy from the normal cereal stores. Okay, so the normal Rosecoco that you buy for eating, you can still plant it as long as you select the one that are not dented, the one that don't have holes, and then the ones that are very, very healthy. Once you plant them, the performance will still be super good. Remember, for the one that is certified and this other one in grocery store, there's no that much difference. Actually, the only difference that I observe is that the certified seed is treated, it's well selected, and these are the ones that you buy from grocery. It's not treated. And remember, you can treat your own seeds with like Multano Super and it still perform well. Okay, but to cut the cost, I would go for the normal Rosecoco beans from the market. They still do very, very well. Now, after you've planted, don't plant extremely deep. You plant just shallowly. If your soil is not fertile, you can also consider top dressing with the DAP. This is often 10 to 14 days after germination. For those who have watched our previous videos, you have observed that we recommend you applying DAP fertilizers on 10 to 14th days after sowing or even transplanting. This enhances faster absorption and prevent leaching, as the crop will have developed substantial root hairs that will help to absorb the nitrogen and the phosphorus in the fertilizers. Okay, and also ensure that while you're progressing, the soil is wet, and also ensure that the fertilizer does not come into contact with the leaves. After that, you can continue doing your normal weeding. The farm should always remain clean. Nowadays, the good thing is that you don't have to incur that much of cost, especially when you're doing manual weeding. There are a lot of selective post and pre-emergence herbicides for controlling weeds in beans farms. A good example is Bean Screen and also Mr. Bean Plus. These are good selective post and pre-emergence herbicides that work very, very efficiently. The only condition with this one is that they don't work in intercrop farms. Remember, beans, you can intercrop them with maize, and when intercrop, applying these selective herbicides will kill the maize and leave the beans alone. So these herbicides only works where beans are planted alone. Okay, it's easier because it reduces the cost of doing hiring workers to come and plow, to come and do the weeding, and also it does the efficiency, because sometimes you hire these workers, they come and do some short work of weeding, but when you apply this chemical, it's cheap. Okay, and remember, all these chemicals you can manage to get them from our farm shop, and we do delivery countrywide and even outside the country. So this is one of the best methods to control weeds. After that, there are things that you need to control. One are aphids, and the other one is diseases such as the blight, leaf rust. The common one is leaf rust and leaf spot and the likes of anthracnose. Now, first, for aphids, what you can do is you apply a Vanda insecticide, especially from 20th day after sowing. 20th to 28th day you can apply Vanda, and you can repeat it after 1 week. This will help you manage all the aphids that may infest your beans. Then from there, for all these fungal diseases, you can use Nativo. It's a good fungicide that will help you control all these fungicides, and especially the leaf rust. You can also use sometimes Lidomil for any early or late blight, and even sometimes you can use Infinito. Infinito, it's a very, very good fungicides that you can also use to control all this. Remember, I've not mentioned the use of boosters or foliar fertilizers, because when you apply most of these nitrogen-rich fertilizers on cereals, what they do, they boost the leaves development and the leaves growth. Okay, but your intention is not to harvest the leaves. Your intention is to harvest the pods. And when you enhance leaves growth and when you enhance leaves development, what you do, you minimize the ability of the pods and you minimize the size of the beans formed. Actually, it interferes with the leaves. We call it the leaves pods ratio. Okay, so the higher the number of leaves, the lower the harvest of beans that you get. But you can apply some of these, like the boron, that will help in preventing flower abortion. The other thing that I really want to warn farmers, you don't do weeding on beans farm when it's raining. This is to prevent the of fungal diseases that tend to destroy all your farm. And that's why you observe, if you've done weeding when it's raining or there was some light showers, you will observe that they tend to turn yellow after completing the weeding, and most of the time they lose the leaves. And when they lose the leaves, also they reduce the ability of making their own food and the beans as well, reducing and lowering the whole thing. Okay, the best thing is that at the end of all, once you manage all this, you control all the weeds, bottom line is that it is possible for you to harvest at least 10 bags and above per acre of Rosecoco beans. And remember, you planted 16 to 20 kgs. Okay, and if you do the maths, the fertilizer, the chemicals, you find the costs are very, very, very minimal. Now, before I leave, I would really love to hear your view and also your comment. Have you tried it? Did it disappoint you? Did it do well? Also, we tell you farmers that this is a platform where we sharpen each other. If it did well for you, share the tips so that other farmers can continue learning and we can continue sharpening each other.